Welcome back. It's time to show you the absolute state of the allotment. In the last video, I caught you up with the cottage garden a little bit and just some life updates and talked about how I was coming back to making videos. And this is the state of the allotment when I first went over there this year. I didn't really start going until the end of February, and that was mainly just to harvest a few remaining bits and pieces of veg that were still there. As you can see, paths have disappeared, grass has come up. The biggest problem I've got though is that it is allotment inspection time fairly soon. The other big surprise, if you'll come this way, is that I have managed to persuade the allotment steward and the council to turn the two half plots into one big plot again. So I'm not just a half plot, I have got this monstrosity to deal with, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to have to give it a go. It's mainly grass, a few flowers there, but mainly grass, brambles, rubbish, half a burnt down tree. It's not looking good, guys. And you can see from the state of the allotment that one of the problems was I didn't really put it to bed properly at the end of last year. And also this year, the weather has been atrocious. While I was over here filming this though, I did start doing some weeding, and I'd say weeded about half of this particular bed, and I planted in some garlic really late, but I discovered that all that happens with garlic that goes in late and doesn't have that period of cold weather is that it grows into one big garlic clove, and I'm happy with that as long as I have got some garlic to use. There's also some chard over there which is starting to come back to life. I've weeded around a lot of the poppies because I still want to keep them because they're great for pollination. And the next time we come over here, I think we'll be making a start on this second bed and see how we go. Hello and welcome back to Sparrow's End. We are back again. I'm actually managing to get another video filmed because I think we have some dry weather today, and I've also got some rainy day playtime things that we can chat about and that I can show you, namely some books and some crochet. But before I do that, we are going to head over to the allotment because there are some updates. I've probably shown you already the fact that I have got a second half to my allotment now. I now have a full-sized allotment, which will be interesting because, let's face it, I can barely stay on top of a half plot, but we are going to give it a go. I can't do any worse than the succession of people that have had it every year since I've had my half, because every year someone's taken it over, they've done like a tiny little bit and then they've just left it, and it's just kind of turned to grass and weeds and that's it. So I at least have done a little something already, which you won't have seen in the previous clips because I went over on Sunday. Today's Tuesday. I went over on Sunday and I did about 3 hours there. Doesn't look like it, never looks like it, does it? But I did 3 hours over there, clearing brambles, laying down some plastic sheeting, doing a little bit of weeding on my original half. And what else did I do? I think I put a little bit of compost down, just some things like that. And I just forgot to bring my phone with me. It was on charge at home. So I had 3 hours without my phone, which actually was brilliant and is something that I am going to do regularly from now on, I think. But it also meant that I couldn't film any of that. I will show you when we get there today. So let's get going with that. Let's stop kind of chit-chatting. I am going to pack my bag. I've got this is what I use as my allotment bag at the moment. Just a big Aldi bag. I don't even know where I got it from because we don't shop there. We can't get to our Aldi very easily. And in it, I've just got a few basic tools. I've got some seeds and things that at some point, because actually this is my biggest problem at the moment. I haven't planted anything. I don't have food growing at my allotment or much in my back garden. I have planted up some potato tubs in the back garden and that's about it. So there's so much to do. So let's get on with it. Okay then guys, a proper welcome back to the allotment. I couldn't find my microphone or anything, so I've just gone with it. We're using the microphone on my phone, which hopefully will be okay. Here we are. It's a really lovely day actually. I can hear birdsong. The sun is out enough, it's bright enough. it's feeling quite warm actually in the sun, which is lovely. So let me show you what I've managed to do so far. So I think I showed you this bed possibly half finished, or maybe not even started, but this is just one of the beds on the original plot. I have one here, then a little path, then another smaller bed, then a path, and then another sort of big bed there, which is just basically grass because I never did sort it out properly last year. This one has been weeded mostly. You can see that I need to bring a strimmer, and then I've got a half moon spade that I will go along and straighten up that edge, and then I can kind of weed it properly. I'd also like to get some kind of barrier along there as well, just to try and stop the grass from spreading quite so much. So one of the jobs for today then is I would like to lift the weed suppressing membrane that's down on this little path here, and then just put some fresh wood chip over the top. Most of the weeds have been suppressed. You can see that there is a little bit of grass that still comes through, but for the most part I feel okay lifting that membrane up, because actually I could do with using it on the other plot. I want to actually get this bed sorted out, weeded, and possibly sown up with something as well. That we just won't even look at that today. That's too much. You can see I've got some blossom on the pear tree there. We've got some rhubarb coming up, and the flower patch is just, oh gosh, it's just horrendous. It's just horrendous. Loads of grass in this area here, a rose bush that needs pruning, some lavender that needs pruning, and then over at the other side there are a few self-sown annuals that are coming up. For the most part it's pretty disastrous. There's a load of alliums, allium bulbs that are coming up underneath the pear tree, so they look really nice. I could do with doing a little bit of weeding in between those, but that isn't urgent. Now then, let's show you the other half of my allotment. So we're going to come around here. So we're past the cherry tree, and this is it. This is it. I think I've shown it to you already briefly. It might look slightly different from the clip that I hopefully put in at the beginning, but it's pretty disastrous. There's a pile of rubbish in this corner. There is a tree here, which I'm not quite sure what kind of tree it is yet. I won't know really until it starts to blossom. There is a burnt tree. The bit that's standing upright appears to be completely dead. The bit that's fallen off, or has kind of separated and fallen down, that has got blossom on it. But I think the entire thing is just going to get cut down, and we'll see if anything springs back to life. I've got a lovely rose bush here. I think it could be a climber, but then I've never seen a shrub rose left to its own devices, which this one has been. This might actually be a shrub rose. The behaviour of it, the way it's kind of growing in the centre here, doesn't remind me of the two climbing roses that I've got, so I'm thinking it could be a shrub rose that's got out of control. I've pruned back this side of it so that I can get down the path, and then over here we've got a massive rhubarb. One of these, I think it's this, has apples on it. It's a lovely apple tree. I can't remember what this is like, because obviously it's never been my plot before, but I did check a few things over towards the end of last year, and I can't remember what kind of grew on this broken down tree here. This pile of rubbish here is all of my trimmings and things from the last time I was here, and I was cutting down a load of bramble. There's still so much bramble to go. I'm going to leave this as my rhubarb plant because it's so big, it's so healthy. And then the ones that are on my original plot are the ones that I will get rid of. I think I've only got one or two left on there. But yes, apart from that, it's a lot of grass. So I have I've got on order some replacement blades for my Flymo trimmer. This is the only black plastic I've got. So I've put that down here. So it's almost like I've got an entrance that will eventually be kind of flattened. And then if I come across here, something I discovered and started sorting out is this massive big planter block, which I actually quite like. I've been pulling up some of the grasses in here, and what I'm going to do, I think, is put a couple of thick layers of compost on here, and I'm going to sow some carrots and possibly some parsnips in here. Can you see the ladybirds though? The ladybirds have clearly made this their home. Oh yes, there could be some raspberry canes along here, guys, look. There may well at some point have been a row of raspberries, so we will clear around those, and then the rest of it, it's a lot of work, isn't it? So I have spent probably at least an hour or more of my time here just chatting to people. It's been so nice. I have had, let me show you, one of my plot neighbours has given me this bag of seed potatoes, all mixed up. He doesn't know what's in there. Just kind of leftovers from like first early packets and second early packets. That's absolutely fine to me, because I'll show you the other half of the plot in a minute. But one of the things that I'm thinking of doing is, even if I can't sort the whole plot out, so there's a lot of noise in the background. This is why I need my microphone. One of the things that I'm going to do in the other plot is just plant a load of potatoes wherever there's space. Just plant some potatoes, because it will turn over the earth, it'll be ground cover, you know, all of that stuff. So what I've managed to do is this much weeding on this bed. It still needs to kind of come to here. And then the other thing that I want to do as well is, that bed has always been narrower than this bed, so I actually want to widen that. There is room to do that, make that wider, so that the two beds are even in size. I don't think I'll be doing that today though, because it has hit lunchtime already. I can't believe it. It is lunchtime. I've been here for so long this morning. And this is what I've managed to do with my piece of cardboard. Not a lot. I've decided it's going to go here, and I've got one, probably is about 2/3 of a barrow load of mushroom compost on top of it. I decided that I'm running out of time. I just need to get the cardboard down, because I'm not carrying it home with me, and I've got nowhere to store it safely. So the cardboard is down, there's some compost on top that will just help to hold it in place, plus a load of rubble and things on there as well. I will deal with that properly the next time I come here. Haven't done anything else on this half of the plot, which is a-okay, I think, because I'm tired from what I have managed to do. Now, I am debating getting this bed finished. I'm not promising anything, but I am going to disappear for a minute, and the next time you see me, I'll either be showing you a completed bed, or I will be back home making a nice lunch. Oh, I honestly don't, do I dare show my face like this? I'm like a beetroot. I just got so hot with like the barrow loads of stuff, and the digging over the top sort of 2 or 3 inches, which is what I was doing really to pull out the weeds and stuff. And I don't think I needed to wear a jumper, but there we are. I'm very hot, I'm very flustered, and I'm home for some lunch. But that was amazing. That was such a good allotment session, even though a lot of it was socialising at the allotment, which is something I didn't think I'd ever enjoy or ever really do very much. I think because I've been there for so long, I've started to feel a little bit more at home and a bit more comfortable in the environment. Also, just the people that I'm now meeting are so lovely, so nice. The big bag of spuds that was given, seed potatoes that was given to me by someone. I mean, it's not just the fact that I've got free stuff out of it, I promise. It's that I'm meeting such really lovely people and having long chats with them and going to have a look at their allotment, and everyone's been so encouraging. And I realised that I have been surrounded by empty plots or neglected plots for such a long time that I haven't really had the community experience that you get at an allotment for most people. So that's just been such a positive thing. What an amazing morning. What an amazing morning. I've made a bit of progress at the allotment. I've had such a good time. The exercise, the fresh air. Can't get lonely over there anymore, because I know a little kind of handful of people. So it's just so bloody good. It's so good. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But I completely ran out of time. I didn't realise what the time was. I think it's about 1:30 now. Hold on, what does my oven say? Yes, 1:30. And I have got work to do. Speaking of which, if you are interested in making money online, you might want to check out my Sparrow's End Business Diaries channel, which is where I put that kind of content. And I have a podcast to record this afternoon, and I should be recording a YouTube video for over there as well, so I need to get on and do that. But first I'm going to refuel, have a cup of tea, and a glass of water because I'm feeling a bit dehydrated. And we will pick this up again because I'm managing to film little clips and bits and pieces this week. So we will pick this up again to talk about some crochet, to talk about some books, and also to perhaps show you a little bit more progress at the allotment. I don't know what's coming up, so we will wait and see. Guys, we're back again. It's the next day. I thought I'd come back. It's very windy, so I'm not going to film sort of that much to camera. I still can't find my microphone, so everything's going horribly wrong as usual with me. But I thought I would come back because I wanted to get the bed finished that I didn't finish yesterday. I've realised it's too wet. It's actually quite cold out here, so I need to get working on something soon-ish so that I don't get too cold. So a flying visit, I think. I've brought my loppers with me, so I think I'm going to cut back the bigger like stems of the bramble that's everywhere, and also I've got to do something with this cherry tree because I want to raise the canopy of it, and also it's getting in the way of the pathways that people use, and they're having to kind of duck and dive to be able to get past. So I think a load of pruning to begin with, and then we'll see. I have had to switch to voiceover because that wind is so loud. That's what I've managed to trim off the cherry tree. I've just taken away enough, I've pruned away enough so that people can get up and down this path, because I'm really close to one of the water troughs or water pumps and people need to get up and down. I am next going to be looking at these brambles and trimming those away right down to the base. At some point I will try to dig them out, but again, at the moment I just want to be able to move around freely in this space. There's a buddleia over there as well, which might start getting a haircut soon. I can show you close up all of these brambles, all the stems that are growing up into the cherry tree. They're definitely something that I want to get rid of as well, and also to pull away the ivy that's also growing up the cherry tree. I mean, all of this ivy needs to come away as soon as possible, really. I'd really like to clear away enough bramble that I can actually walk through this entire space. I don't know whether I'll manage it today or not. And that's my original plot through there. And again, I'd love to clear a space so that I can walk between them. And I really want to deal with this corner pile of rubbish as well. Hello, we're back. Finally, the wind has stopped. And so we are going to head to the allotment today, and we are going to have brunch at the allotment, and we are going to get some jobs done. The first thing that's changed on the plot is that the garlic that I planted right at the beginning of the video, which is probably at least a week and a half ago now, that has started to sprout, it's started to come up, and I'm really relieved because it means I'm definitely going to have some garlic this year. So this is the progress so far then. I have been finishing off this end of the bed. There was some really stubborn perennial weeds and grass at this end, so I actually dug a little bit deeper than I have been digging over these two beds. In fact, this one mostly just needed some weeding. This one was a little bit trickier. This is the one that's had the least number of years worth of compost on the top, so it's still prone to perennial weeds coming up. And you can see that I've started just to widen it so that it's the same width as this one over here. I didn't measure it as such, I just kind of measured it in the size or the length of my own feet, and then just went across here, and I need to bring it out to here, so there's a little bit more to do along this edge. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some direct sown seeds into both of these patches. I'm going to take up this weed suppressing membrane and replace it with some wood chip, and I'm going to move that same piece and just put it over here next to this bed so that I can start to work on creating a bed over here. I think this one is possibly so far gone in terms of weeding and digging or anything like that. It's never really been sorted out properly. I did manage to grow, I think, some potatoes and things here last year, but that was it really. This one, if there is enough compost, which there may not be, but if there is enough compost here, then I will probably create a no dig bed on this particular patch. So we'll see how far we get with that today. Also, if there is compost, I don't know if you remember on the new bit, so not a lot has happened on the new bit. As you can see, it's still pretty awful. It's still bad. We have got blossom on the tree though. I mean, oh, actually, no, look at this. Look at that. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? That's stunning. Look at those colours. Look at those colours. I still need to prune back the buddleia, but I didn't bring my loppers with me today. This bit is covered over. That will just get left for most of this year. I started a tiny little no dig bed over there. I might see about doing a little something with that, create some sort of edging, maybe top it up with a little bit more compost because it's quite a thin layer. And then over here we've got this planter that I think I am going to grow carrots in this year. One of my plot neighbours has started chopping down the dead bit of tree as well, so that's really helpful. If I can get some compost, I'll put a layer of compost on top here, put carrot seeds in. I think that will be it for today. The other thing that I need to do is remove this pile of rubbish that's here. All of the little bits of plastic that have come off this are horrendous. I need to remember to bring a bin liner with me next time so that I can bundle that all away and then create a bed here next to that tree. But yes, there's a lot to do, and there are plot inspections starting in a few days, so I am going to be here I think every day for the rest of this week as long as we have half decent weather. It feels a little bit unfair this year because every time I've had free time the weather has been absolutely atrocious. Look at that blossom though. It's absolutely beautiful, really, really beautiful. But yes, so this is how we're looking at the moment. Soon to have finished 2 beds and hopefully paths in between. So the wind is picking up, but I have managed to add some, well, it is wood chip, but there's an awful lot of leaf in there as well, but I don't really care. It's going down, or it's gone down, and so I have one of the little pathways finished. I've also just kind of loosened the soil. I've broken up any big chunks of soil. This will be fine as it is to sow some seeds directly into. So I've created some furrows about a foot apart, and these are the seeds that I'm going to sow. Let me show you what I've grabbed. I have got some spring onions, some regular onions, we've got some turnips, some broccoli rabe, and actually some of these I'm not, the carrots are for, and more onions. I finished sowing those seeds, and then I picked all the leftover sprouts on the greens that were on the allotment and pan fried them and made myself a delicious lunch. I will see you again soon in the next video.